microphone on. Hey, Barry, is that you? Howdy, Barry. And, RoboCoop 4000, how's it going? Alright, let me just get myself organized here, and let's try this. Okay, cool. So, alright, let me go ahead and adjust this. I'm a little bit, Alright, here's what I'm thinking here. I gotta move this camera now. I gotta move them a little bit, right? Like that. Is that alright? Okay. Hi everyone. Now the overhead light. I'm just adjusting my lighting here. Do we adjust that? Here we go. I finally got my multi-camera setup working again. Great. And behind me is that's my homebrew, where I do my homebrew development there. So when I'm working on the games for older platforms and consoles, I generally use that setup over there. Let's see. 1 second. I think I need to adjust my overhead lights. Let me just check my lighting here. Good to see you guys. Let me know if the audio is all right for you. Okay, I do need to adjust the lighting. Let me go ahead and be right back. Go. All right. Okay. Howdy, everyone. There's one more enemy for Undertakers that we have to design. So last week, I think, we created that new cryptid to join the Undertaker family. There's one more that I have to do. I'm just going to have a lacquer roll. I'm going to have a lacquer roll because it's Swedish candy. I'm just going to enjoy a Swedish candy here before I get started. These are pretty nice. It says they're sugar-free and coated, but yeah, it's nice to have a Swedish candy once in a while. Pretty nice. Okay, so I think we're all set. How's everyone doing? I'm so out of the loop. Did Mario RPG come out yet? Is anyone playing that? I've been working non-stop, haven't I? So I'm not even sure if that's out yet. Okay, so I think then I click this button. We're back to it. Okay, great. So it says that YouTube is not receiving a smooth enough streaming. What does that mean? Stream status poor. What does that mean? I thought I fixed this last time. I did just update OBS. If you give me a second, let me just make an adjustment on OBS. Let's see here. And I will see if I can fix. Okay, I've made some adjustments to the stream, and it looks to be working a bit better now. Great. Okay. Oops. I don't know. I was using the wrong keyboard, wasn't I? Okay. So today we'll be sculpting this cryptid for Undertakers. So there are now, looks like there are now 4 members in the Undertakers family, which is a fun way to see it grow organically, because in the original Undertakers launch, you only had that the large Undertaker, and then that sort of the small guy with the sort of an eyeball. All right. Okay, how's everyone doing? Everyone all right? Just want to make sure this is correct. I'm just going to close that and open it up again, as that had been open since last time. All right. Okay. And we'll Undertaker 4. Okay. So I just need to think for a second about the shape of this fella here. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I'm just thinking about. So I've got my original concept for this guy that I've been considering for quite a while. So I'm not doing any concept sketches. Well, actually, maybe I will. Maybe I will just for fun, just for the stream here. I'll just do a quick concept sketch. Go ahead and open Photoshop here. Yeah, we're back. We're back. Hey, good to see you. Okay, so we'll just do a very rough concept sketch here. Because this is another a little bit esoteric design, I suppose you would say. Let's go ahead and this will just be, I'm just going to rough this out here. No, not a big operation like it was last time. Let's see here. So I'm not going to colorize this or anything like that, so I won't render it. But he's sort of like a... Let me get a draft layer in here. Yeah, okay, so he's gonna kind of be like a... See, all the Undertakers have a sort of lankiness to them, you know? He's got to have like a mouth with bits. Oh, this is coming out kind of... It's a little too round, so it's kind of cute. He's got to have like a mouth, right? This is... Wow, this is rough. Sort of like that. This is... See, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I'm kind of like... Mouth like that, doesn't he? Okay. And again, the Undertakers are all quite lanky, so I'm just going to imagine he's got his ribcage. There's his sort of body like that. Okay, so he's got... they tend to have very kind of specific-looking limbs, don't they, the Undertakers? Let's give him one of these, one of those kind of legs. Okay. Is that right? Oh boy, this is rough. Okay, like that. But see, he's gonna have a... Okay, something like that. This is sort of crossing into like a Metal Exterminators territory, isn't it? Okay. He's gonna have something like that, and like that. Yeah. And what am I thinking here? Overhead or under? It needs to be under. So he's got to have a limb that comes under like that. Now, the purpose of this particular cryptid is this one actually is the one that digs the holes for that the Undertakers use. So we have that. So we have these those limbs, but now we also have... Now he's got to have his front bits here. Okay. Okay. Like that. This is rough. Okay, so this is going to be a lot. So he's got like that front. He's looking like a jacked up horse, isn't he? Okay, something like this. Here we go. Alright. Okay, so let's go ahead. We've got sort of the red layer there. Wow, holy smokes. I wasn't even looking at the... Sorry, I wasn't even looking at the stream here. I realize now that's too bright. Let me go ahead if I put my background down. I haven't had my coffee, you see. Actually, before I started, I spilled my coffee, didn't I? So I'll go ahead and adjust the brightness on the webcam as well. That's where the issue is here. Okay. Configure the video. We'll just bring the exposure down a fair bit. How about that? Okay, I think I need to have my coffee as well. Alright. Okay, let's just sort of rough this out now a bit here. See, so we've got, okay, I'm looking at where the limbs come from here. Something like that, you know. I want them to be spade-like at the end, you know. So you've got, this bit comes down like that. Oh wow, this is, it's coming, it's ending up a little too Metal Exterminators, but you know, you'll see it once I'm sculpting it. You know, it'll make a little more sense. It'll be a little more distinct. My brain just sort of kicked into Metal Exterminators mode here for some reason. There's his mouth hole, isn't it? Okay. I'm just getting the rough shapes in here. I'm just going straight into the line work. Okay, let's get him bony like that. We have like a ridged back. Here we go. That's making a little more sense now. So we're straight into the line work. I'm not even gonna draft these. Here we go. Straight into it like that. Arm is spade-like here. I swear that it won't look like a Metal Exterminator by the time I'm sculpting it. It will be distinctly more Undertaker. Okay, so disable that. I ended up drawing the black onto the red layer for some reason. Anyway, I mean, you kind of get an idea of what we've got going on here. I'm just gonna say, no big deal. Okay, so we see where we're going here. I'm just going to move this aside now. What I will do is I'll just pop that out as a PNG. How about that? Save it as a PNG. Where is this anyway? Okay, we'll get that to be flat now. Make that white. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll have that setting in the corner there. Okay. Kind of see what we got going on there. A little blurry, isn't it? But that's all right. Okay. Great. So now we are on to the sculpt here. So I'm going to bring that forward. Okay. Just want to check a setting here. Okay, everything's alright. Let's see. Just want to check a setting here. Okay, everything's alright. Let's see. Yeah, okay. All right, so let's see. I'm just going to smoothen out here, and this won't be a very long stream today, as I am getting towards the end of development on Undertakers for the Switch. So I'll have to focus on just getting a heap amount of work done very quickly. I thought it'd be just fun to share another sculpt with you. So you can see we've sort of got a situation going on there. Probably be better if I colorized that a bit just for the... Yeah, I'm just going to colorize that very quickly. I'm going to fill it in with some color just for the stream so we have something to look at. This doesn't really show up well in line work, does it? On the screen like that. Let's go ahead and open them up. I'm going to do it the cheap way. Let me just... try to select everything in there. Ignoring all my draft lines, which are red. This is cheap. Okay, now then. Probably good enough, isn't it? Okay, let's create a new layer. And let's just pick like a... Just pick like red, won't we? This is the cheapest, laziest way I could do this. But again, it's just so it shows up better on stream. This isn't anything that's published. Oop. Could just use pencil work, but that's... Okay, this is really lazy. Okay, anyway, we can kind of see what's going on better now. There we go. Yeah, that way we can see it on the screen at least a little bit. Okay, here we go. Okay, just open that. There we go. There, that looks a bit better for the stream so we can see our concept art a little bit. Okay, so we can kind of see what we're going for here. If you just give me a second here. So why is my web camera doing that? Why is my web camera doing that? Okay, sorry everyone, I don't know why my web camera is... Why is it doing that? I'm going to turn on my front-facing camera and see what the situation is. Sorry about that, I don't know what the deal is. So is this... That's in the camera itself. Okay. I'm not sure if I should unplug that camera and then plug it back in. Maybe I should just disable it real quick. Okay. Deactivate. Activate. That appears to have addressed the issue. Okay, if you'll just give me a second here. Okay, and then we'll be trying to match whatever that rough design is here. So I've sort of roughed out a spot for the neck. You know, that'll sort of be the neck section. I can extend the mouth bits from there. So the purpose of this particular cryptid is that this is the one that actually digs the holes which we find in Undertakers. Okay. So let's start shaping out his body here. And again, it's going to be a pretty short stream here. So been a bit quiet online the past week or two, as I've just had just an immense amount of work. I'm working really hard on getting Undertakers out. Elenon DeEnder, good to see you. Yeah, I've been working very hard. Undertakers is almost ready again. There's just a heap of skills that are unique to Undertakers, the new game mode, Cabin Defenders, and so I'm finalizing implementing the new skills, and I'm adding some new weapons. I'm implementing a new elemental system as well. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to send a message to my dad here and let him know that I'm streaming. He can watch my stream a bit. Just a second here. Here we go. I'm not on my phone watching TikToks or anything. Just copy this link and I'll send him a message. How's it going, Elenon? Are you playing Mario RPG? Is that out? I don't even know if it's out. I've kind of sort of seen the thumbnails of news articles, but I've just been so focused on my work here. Okay. Oh, it's not out yet. Oh, sorry. I saw quite a few thumbnails for news articles, and I just didn't click on them. But I assumed there were so many news articles that I wondered if it was out already, like reviews and things like that. So we're sort of getting okay. We got the torso of our buddy here. So I'm just going to that's an arm and that's a leg. Okay, here we go. So we're going to just get some mass on there. Okay, that's to zoom in and out. You've been playing Super Mario Wonder and Hogwarts Legacy on Switch. How is that? How is Hogwarts Legacy? Because that's quite an advanced sort of just visually intensive, isn't it? So how does it look on the Switch? How does it play and feel to you? You know, your personal sort of. I really don't care about these sort of very numeric methods in which we judge things, like, oh, on the Switch it gets, 30 frames per second and this and that. It's like, yeah, but the frame rate is not the only part of the experience, and it's not even the most important part of the experience of playing a game. Oh, right, so Super Mario releases on the 17th. Right, okay, I gotcha, thanks. Okay, so let's gonna get, we need to make sure he's not too upright. See, I'm looking at my sketch. It's good that I did the sketch. I'm making it a little too upright. So I'll go ahead and just use my grab tool here. That's the scale tool, isn't it? Okay. So there we go. We want to make him more quadrupedal looking and more horizontal than vertical, as my great-grandpappy used to say. Alright, so let's go ahead and... so again, this cryptid is joining the Undertaker family, so he's one of the Undertakers, and this one in particular is the cryptid that actually digs the holes. As the Undertakers, the main Undertaker sort of chucks you into those holes. This is the one that actually digs the holes. So maybe he might not necessarily, be as dangerous as the Undertakers, as the other Undertakers, but he certainly offers something different. So he'll have some different behaviors when you're dealing with him. So I'm kind of looking at my proportions. I'll have to make those legs a little chunkier, and they do need to be a little longer. I'm just going to use my grab tool now. So actually, in this situation, I don't normally do concept sketches. I do concept on canvas, but in this situation, I'm actually pretty happy to have it. Let me know if the music is too loud at any particular point. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking that's probably good here. Okay, so that's my brush size. I can zoom in and out holding this thing as well. So I do. Here we go. Some pass back there as well. So I'm going to use the grab tool. The brush is a little too big. Ellen, you've played both docked and handheld, and you actually prefer the handheld mode. It's been running surprisingly nice. When going through doors or zones, there are some small load times. You actually prefer the handheld mode. Yeah, nice, nice. Look, in general, I kind of... Okay. You're back. She'll be back any second. Okay. So you're back. Apologies for that, everyone. Windows tends to do a lot of things in the background, and it looks like it just broke my stream, so great. Alright. So it looks like everyone's left since the stream kind of broke here, so this will be fine. This will just be whoever missed it can just come back and watch the replay afterwards. So I guess I'll just keep working here, and I'll just try and get some work done then. So hey, sometimes you have technical issues, sometimes things happen. These things happen in life. So, alright, let me make some adjustments here, and... okay, at least my multi-camera setup is still working. Alright, let's just go ahead and get some work done on this Undertaker. So, let's see. That's already getting this wrong. It's probably for the best things are a little quiet as I can actually get this right and stop messing it up here. Okay, so I'm looking at my concept art here. That should be a bit more back, shouldn't it? Oh, that is looking a little too sexy back there. Yeah, because I got to do something about those cheeks. Okay. That's looking much closer now to what I want for the artwork here. Okay. Let me make sure we save our progress. Okay, so yeah, unfortunately, I think that's kind of messed up the momentum and the algorithm here from my stream went down, so that's unfortunate. I'll just keep working here. Oh, Mikatha, hi, good to see you. How are you going? So, yeah, the stream went down for a few minutes. You know, Windows does a whole bunch of stuff in the background, and then my streaming workstation just died, so I had to restart. So this, if you're just checking in, good to see you. And this is a new Undertakers. This is joining the Undertakers family. He'll be a new enemy in the upcoming Undertakers coming to the Switch. And there's a whole new game mode that's the biggest game mode that's in Undertakers now. Because I didn't want to make people buy the game a third time just to say like, oh, ooh, I want money, give me your money. I'm gonna just copy and paste my game to another platform, to another console. I never ever want to do that. I think that's just a betrayal of trust. But I'm in a position where I really need to get some new games onto the market because of the majority of my library is no longer selling because they were on the 3DS and Wii U, and it's taking longer than expected to get these other titles ready to launch. So I thought, look, I can take like 2 weeks and I can create this new game mode for Undertakers, and it would be a significant addition to the game. It would really add something. It would be interesting and fun, and it would be an immense amount of contribution to the Undertakers game in general, and I think it's something that people would really enjoy because it lets me expand more on the concept of the on the Undertakers. Okay. Mm. Nikatha, things are good with you? That's great. I'm glad to hear that. That's really great. I get a bit worried sometimes because there are people that really enjoy and support Silver Falls, and they'll send me messages once in a while, and then sometimes it'll go for a stretch of like a, half a year, and I won't hear from people. So it's I just feel concerned, when people go a bit quiet, and I just kind of hope things are going all right with people. So you always want to be careful with that. Well, symmetry, the line of symmetry can cause some issues here, so I'm just going to go ahead and address that now before it causes any more issues. Okay. So we're going to try and match the concept art there. Okay. Let's see. Survivor says can't make it to Switch, though I appreciate that. And I am future proofing this. Here's what I'm thinking. Okay, so we've seen those rumors for what could be the next Nintendo console, and there is a chance. Like, I don't want to propagate rumors, but at the end of the day, I'm a gamer, and I like speculating on these things because it's fun. It is just fun. And there's a chance that there will be a dual screen setup again, a dual screen format for the upcoming, whatever the follow-up to the Nintendo Switch will be. There's a chance that will have dual screen, which means you have your controller with the screen and you'll have gameplay on the TV. And at that point, if we have that for the Nintendo Switch, I have a bunch of ideas that I would like to implement, because there were more games I wanted to make for the Wii U that I was not able to make due to my inexperience at the time. But after making White Inside Its Umbra, I've developed immensely. I've improved my skills and my ability as a developer. And if we are able to see that in the next Nintendo console, where it has dual screen play again, then I wouldn't mind putting Undertakers on there again, just so I can bring Survivors back. If I can put Undertakers on the new Nintendo Switch, I'll put Survivors mode back, I'll enhance it, I'll add significantly more content, and then I would love to do White Inside Its Umbra on the new Switch. I would enhance it. It would be a total remaster, a graphical overhaul to just improve all the graphics, have more interactivity. There will be more applications and more interactivity on the tech pad. You know how the gamepad was your tech pad in White Inside Its Umbra. I just need to make sure this guy doesn't end up looking like a metal exterminator. Am I right? This guy this guy digs the holes. So this top lip isn't so important. That'll sort of be smaller than the other ones, right? We really want... I'm kind of conceptualizing. He uses this as his little... He's going to have things that come out the sides. And then he'll have... This is his, like, his primary digger. So he kind of like... Here's what I'm thinking. Like, he sort of digs. He should have, like, a flap. Oh, you know, it'd be really sick if he had a flap in the back. So he sort of, like, grabs the dirt, and then he sort of craps it out, and that's how he digs. Let's do that now. Oops. Let's do that. It's kind of a gross concept, isn't it? Oh, that's sick. Alright. This guy. And this is where we're calling it the poop chute. This will be his poop chute. And this is how he digs the holes. And then the Undertakers come by and they stick people into the holes and they just sort of eat them. Oh. Oh, ew. This is a gross concept. Okay. Nukatha, you expect small devs won't be able to get their hands on dev kits until very close to release, but with whatever they do next, you seem poised to have eShop releases very close to launch, before the storefront gets bloated. Yeah, you know, I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to that. I don't know when I would be able to get a development kit for the new hardware, and again, I don't have any inside information. I don't even know if the new hardware is actually happening. I don't know when it's going to be happening. I don't have any idea of what it will be. I've got no idea. Oh. Oh, gross. This is gross. Okay. Yeah. We should have it like somewhat ridged and bumpy so that it's like, yeah. Okay, we'll add more detail to that. So here's what this guy does, is he sort of eats the dirt, he digs it, sort of, yeah, back out. So he's going to be pretty big, actually. We're going to have to make these limbs more lanky, as is fitting for the Undertakers. So I'm just roughing out the shape now, and then we'll get our form in there. So we've got actually an under deal here. So this is going to aid with digging here. I would, if I had the opportunity to obtain a development kit for whatever new hardware will be the new Nintendo, I don't want to just do ports, but on that note, not that many people got to play White Inside Its Umbra, and I still get messages from people that say that they found out about White Inside Its Umbra for the Wii U too late, and that they really wanted it. And so I would love to bring White Inside Its Umbra to whatever the new Nintendo... I'm going to call it the Nintendo Snap, because I made a video about it. And I thought it was a cool concept that perhaps the top and the bottom halves of the new Nintendo would snap. They would snap. Let's see, Nukatha, would you need to rebuild it outside of Unity? No. I would have to use Unity because the entirety of that game relies on Unity. It's built on frameworks that I spent years making for Unity, so if you were to remake that game entirely outside of Unity, it would take a very long time. And because there is no game engine that I can use as proficiently as Unity right now, because I can work extremely fast in Unity because it's the only engine that I've really made games with, you know, for the past 10, 11 years or whatever. It would take me years to be able to make White Inside Its Umbra in another engine. So right now, my only option is to use Unity for my existing titles that are already in development. But I am learning other engines. Right now I'm learning Defold, and that's because I want to make games for some particular other platforms. This is so muscular and veiny. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Probably use this for like slapping the player. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Okay. Yeah, good. And I want more weight. You see, I've got weight pushing down on those front knees, so I need to, you know, express that. Okay. Just to grab as well. Hi, Ramikas? Is that how you say your name? Rameses? Oh no. I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry, I've never seen that name before. How do you say your name? Nice to see you. Hello. Hello to Brazil. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name. I'm gonna look up on the internet how to say it. Uh, how to pronounce name. Rameses? The internet is not helping me here. Ah, I have a very good friend of mine. Okay, great. Hello, good to see you. Thanks for hanging out on the stream. A very good friend of mine lives in Brazil. He is a brilliant composer. I think he's got like a double or a triples master's in music, and he travels around the world composing and conducting. Really fantastic. Oh, I'm looking at my sketch here. Actually, this... okay, those arms... Oh, okay. So I need to leave space for... Okay, so actually, this spot that I've defined here, that should be the front leg. That's going to be the front leg, and then actually, I'm going to call these his scoopers. His scoopers need to attach from back here. Alright, so I'm actually really starting to like this design here. Once we finish the form, I'm going to have a lot of... Or the shape. Once we finish the shape here, I'm going to have a lot of fun doing the form here, I think. And again, I want it to obviously feel like it is in the Undertakers family, but of course I want it to feel distinct in its own way, and I think I'm getting there. Your name is strange even in Portuguese. Oh, really? Well, it's cool. It's a cool name. I've never seen it before. What games are you playing right now? Let's see here. My friend that I was just mentioning, who's in, is from Brazil. I'm not sure if he's in Brazil right now or if he's traveling around for work, because he does composing and conducting, and he works with various symphonies around the world, different orchestras. We met online over PSP. These guys wanted to make a PSP RPG, and I was volunteered to do the sprite work, and he was doing the music, and so we met over that, and there's, you know, quite a few other people in the project, but we stayed in touch from that, you know, and man, he's really talented, and from him I gained an understanding that how important music is to Brazilian culture, and I think that's just, it's so cool. It's something that, like for example, Australians wouldn't understand the concept of music being an important part of your culture and your life, you know? Okay, I'm looking at my arm shapes. He's supposed to, it's like 1, 2, and 3, so he's got a horse thing going on. Okay. I want it to be wider. This guy's all arms. I was sort of thinking of this guy. Let's see, so... okay, that's actually supposed to... Oh no, I'll have it lean forward actually, so it makes more sense, because I need separation from the rear leg here. Oops, step back here. Okay. This is going to be a nightmare to rig. Good gracious. Lord Almighty, this will be a challenge to rig. I gotta stick a lot of bones in this bad boy. Okay. Yeah, okay, so the front profile, as long as these front arms extend out a bit, then it won't have a confused profile. Because if he were to appear in other games, you know, or in other camera angles, you need your profile to make sense, your silhouette. So I'm gonna call it it for the front. I'm gonna call it. Let's start bringing the next part of the limb forward here. Okay, I'm just looking at my concept art here. Which game is this monster from, Remises? This is from Silverfall's Undertakers, but the Switch version. So Undertakers originally launched on the 3DS. We brought it to the Wii U with a brand new game mode, which was Survivorces. And I'm now bringing the game to the Nintendo Switch with a brand new game mode called Cabin Defenders. And Cabin Defenders is massive. There's more playable characters. The music that's playing is from Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers. It's titled The Soaring Skies. So I'm setting up people being able to buy the soundtracks and also just have them online for free as well. I'm setting it up so you'll have a keychain that has your album art and a QR code on it, and you can look at the QR code with your phone and you can boot up the album. You can share the album with other people, friends and family. So I am working on that, but I just need to get Undertakers finished and submitted to Nintendo. And then Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers and Ruby River will be the first soundtracks that I launch. I'm sorry, I misspoke. This music is not from Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers, it's from Ruby River. And Ruby River was packaged together with Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers. So this monster is new to... You know what? Let me grab... I'll grab my Switch in a few minutes and I will show you the new game mode. I've been making significant progress on Undertakers. So there's the new game mode in Undertakers for Switch is a whole new game. It's a whole new gameplay style. There's heaps of playable characters. There's more playable characters than there's ever been before. There's a new elemental system, new weapons, a new skill system. It uses the modern gameplay style, or the modern gameplay visuals. It'll be 4-player co-op. There's exploration. There's battles where you're building your cabin and you need to survive until sunrise. So you're just trying to maintain your cabin and rebuild it as it breaks while fighting off, you know, a massive horde of cryptids. And you're hoping you'll make it through the night. And then obviously if you have your friends with you, you'll have a better chance with that. Then there is the giant battle mode, and with giant battle mode, you're fighting a giant Undertaker, but you can't defeat him in one go. So you have to deal as much damage as you can, and then eventually you'll just get killed because he's too powerful. But the amount of damage you do to that Undertaker is remembered. So every time you go back to fight this giant Undertaker, you just chip away at his health, and eventually you defeat the giant Undertaker, and you'll get some good rewards with weapon drops. You can explore open environments, and then you collect resources for building. You can get comic book pages, so you can level up your skill comics, so your skill comics can be stronger and stronger. And then you get good quality, high-level skill comics from defeating the giant boss. And the skill comics obviously change up the way that you play, and they make your characters, you know, have special abilities and stat boosts in special ways. So I'm really excited about it. I think I've come up with a way to really bring something exciting and new to Undertakers, but it still feels distinctly, you know, like Undertakers, but it's a whole new gameplay mode. That it's basically a brand new game. So I'm very excited to bring that to people as soon as possible. Oh yeah, that is a friend. Look at this guy. That's a friend. Let's just go ahead and turn off wireframe for a minute. We'll have a look. I'm feeling really good about that. We might extend his back thing a bit, so we want to raise the ridge a bit on his back. This is exciting. I'm actually really starting to like this design. Remy says, why don't you launch on other platforms like the VCS, PlayStation, and Xbox? So, I have contacted Atari regarding bringing games to the VCS because I feel like I can bring something to that platform that isn't there yet. That would really add value to that console. I really like the VCS. I got one recently. I think it's so great. I think it's fantastic. Um, and I don't see that many games on there that I personally want. And I've just thought up some great ideas for VCS that would be, you know, interesting and unique. So I'm waiting to hear back from Atari to register me as a developer, because I would really like to bring some games to the VCS. I don't make games for the PlayStation and Xbox because it's very it is extremely demanding developing for a platform, because you have to understand all of the quirks of the platform. Oh, I can talk face to face here and explain that. It's very demanding developing for a platform. You need to understand the strengths and weaknesses. There's so many different quirks when it comes to developing for the platform. You have to constantly be in a headspace where you are thinking about the best way to make use of the strengths of that platform. Porting your game from one console to another it's a great way to make more money with less effort, because you do put in less effort and you're making more money. But it also cheapens your product. It diminishes the quality of your product. It diminishes the value that your product brings to those platforms. It just cheapens it, and it feels like, well, it doesn't matter what platform you get it on, just, you know. And I want to bring something of value to Nintendo. I've been working with Nintendo, and it's been a personal endeavor for me to build a working relationship with Nintendo. Nintendo is a platform that I believe in most, and it is the company that I believe in most, because it's Nintendo's values are the values that I align with most. I believe in treating people with respect. I believe in treating people like they aren't just cattle. That people are a source of money, and it doesn't matter how you treat them, because people are going to spend their money anyway. So why should you put in effort? Why should you put in, you know, any hard work? Why would you treat people with respect when it doesn't matter if they're going to give you money anyway? And that's the attitude that I see from Sony. Specifically, Sony has that attitude. Xbox, a little bit, not as much, but Xbox does have that attitude. But with Nintendo, I feel that they are the only company and business out there who do not have that attitude. That Nintendo really, they do make an effort to treat their customers with respect. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, then how come they do all this content strike? How come they won't let us do Smash Bros. Tournaments? How come they always take down people's videos? That has nothing to do with Nintendo as a business. That's legal. That's the legal stuff. That's copyright protection. That's IP protection. That has absolutely nothing to do with Nintendo's identity itself. I believe that Nintendo is striving to bring fun to people, to just give people something good to do. And they're doing it in a way that I think they are trying to treat people with respect. And that is the total opposite of what I see from Sony. So I have no interest in bringing any value to Sony's brand. I have no interest in working with Sony because of the way that they treat people. Not just their customers, but people. And I can't get behind that. And it would be so easy for me to copy and paste my games and say, oh, look, it's on Sony. I can have way more people buying my games now. But that's not what is important to me. My values, my personal values, will always play an important role in the business decisions that I make. And I just feel like Nintendo is the only company whose values align with mine. And that's just treating people with respect. So that's why I only develop for Nintendo. I would like to form a working relationship with Atari. I like what they are trying to do, but I understand that they don't have a huge amount of staff, so it could take a while before they actually get back to me. And then, unfortunately, if Atari takes too long to get back to me, I may be in a position where I can't develop for them anymore, because my development schedule for Nintendo is absolutely stacked. And if Nintendo announces their new console and it does in fact have a dual screen setup, then I won't develop games for Atari. I will 100% be devoting all of my development time to Nintendo, because that is a format I really want to work with. I want to bring White Inside Its Umbra to that if they have that. If there is a VR option for the new Nintendo console, I'll be creating VR experiences. So, yeah, unfortunately, I think it may take Atari too long to get back to me, and by the time they get back to me, I think my schedule for development will already be it'll be set in stone and allocated for purely Nintendo development. So while I really want to, I've been actively, like, every day reaching out to Atari. I've been sharing things online and just trying to communicate with the user base of the VCS, but unfortunately, I think Atari's just too busy to get back to me, so it's a real shame, because I really want to work with them. Rami says, "You live by an interesting philosophy. I really respect you for that." Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks. It's easy to get wrapped up in this kind of stuff when you start earning money, doing something that's fun. Like, video games are fun. It's just how they are. You see a lot of people in the industry who just turn into the most awful people, and you see it, and these are the people that are in charge of deciding what games that we're going to get, and it's horrifying. It's really disgusting seeing that these are the people in charge. All they care about is making more money. So now they're making games that aren't very good, that have no effort. They're not even trying, and then they're just figuring out ways to, how can we monetize this? It's absolutely disgusting. And I will never ever get behind that. So I have to put in an active effort. I have to put in a conscious effort to make sure that I never go down that road, that I never end up like those people who are now just... That's not how I want to treat other people, So, to me, making tons of money should not be the most important thing when it comes to video game development. And for me, the most important thing to me, and what is my priority when I'm developing games, my absolute priority is just to give people something to believe in. And if my games end up being fun along the way, that's also a priority. But to me, the very most important thing on top of everything else, no matter what, is I just need to give people something to believe in. And that's what is most important to me. So that drives the style of content that I bring out as commercial products. Because at the end of the day, you can't really sugarcoat it that much. At the end of the day, I'm creating a commercial product. That's what it is. So I need to make sure that the commercial product that I create is, to the best of my ability, something that is morally sound in terms of why I created it and my intentions for creating it. And I just want to give people something to believe in. But also, I want that thing to be very fun. And the reason why I believe in that is I grew up playing video games, and why video games were so valuable to me is because the games that I played were something that I could believe in. And I'm at a stage in my life where I can really fully comprehend and understand how valuable that is, because there are so many things in our lives where we get to a point where we believe in something, and we reach a point where we realize we were wrong to believe in that. But when you have to process and accept that you were wrong in believing in something, it's difficult and it's quite painful. And to bring that pain upon someone is really awful. So I want to do the opposite. And I can't forget the games that I grew up with that I still believe in, that were really just something positive for me to focus on and to think about all day long. I was at school, and I was constantly thinking, This is I'm sharing some personal information. I'd be sitting at school, and I'd be drawing Final Fantasy characters. I'd be drawing Final Fantasy characters on the sides of my schoolwork. So whether it was homework or schoolwork, I'd be drawing my video game characters on the sides. I'd have character art all day long. I'd be thinking about, I want to get home. I got to play Final Fantasy VII, and eventually it was, I got to get home and play Final Fantasy IX. You know, I never really said that with 8 because I didn't understand Final Fantasy VIII that much, so I didn't really have the connection with 8. But it wasn't until I was an adult and I went back to play 8 again that I realized how much I really liked Final Fantasy VIII. So that was me in school. Was constantly waiting to get home to play Final Fantasy, Breath of Fire. You know, Chrono Trigger, all those games. Let's see. Navy SEAL. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Dual screen gaming is so cool. I definitely get why you'd want to make games for that. So many unique possibilities. Oh, absolutely. I'm going to tell you something. This is a top secret. All right. Navy SEAL. Years ago, I was working on a concept for the Wii U, but I wasn't a good enough developer. I wasn't experienced enough yet to create the concept for that. So this concept that if Nintendo announces their new hardware and it does have dual screen gaming, I'll tell you what I will be working on is a game series, an IP that I've been working on that I just put on ice for a while because now there's no format that can play it. But it is a series where you build and customize and upgrade a mech. Think of it as let's say a Zord from like Power Ranger. You have your Zord, and originally I want to be able to store the data in like a Wiimote if it was for the Wii U. You take the Wiimote to your friend's house. You could store the data in an amiibo, but the idea is you play your game, you got your mech, and you're going around, you're exploring open environments, you're collecting parts, and you're thinking, oh, I can upgrade my mech like this, like that. You take your mech over to your friend's house with whichever data storage, whether it's a Wii remote, amiibo these days. You take your mech over to your friend's house and you go and do a battle where you and up to 5 of your other friends with their mechs all have their custom mechs, and you come together and you combine them, and now you've got a mega mech. And so you have to pick, oh, okay, so are you going to be the left leg, the right arm, the left arm, or the torso? And you all have different parts, and maybe you can have your 6th Ranger, yeah? Everyone loves a 6th Ranger, and maybe that one could be wings, and shoulder pads. And so you all have to work together, so you're using motion controls. So how I originally imagined it for the Wii U was you have your Wii remote, and possibly your nunchuck as well, because they both have motion controls, and you are now piloting your mech, but you are attached to your 4 other friends, and they're controlling their parts. So maybe you're the right arm. But you have one friend who was using the Wii U gamepad. And with the Wii U gamepad, that's the engineer. And the engineer has to determine where your power is routed to. So you can sort of say default, power is evenly distributed to everyone. But let's say you see the enemy is preparing an energy attack and you need to get your shields up. Well, your friend who's controlling the left arm, he's the mech that's on the left arm, he has the shield, and you need to get more power to the shield. So you say to your friend who's the engineer, who's using the Wii U gamepad, oh, I need more power to the shield. So he routes all the power, which means your other parts of your mech now have less power. But now you'll say, 80% power to the shield. Then your friend who's controlling the left arm brings up the shield, and then they defend against the enemy's energy attack. But that means that all of your attacks, if you try to use the right arm to attack, it's going to be significantly weaker. And so it's a matter of just shouting at your friends, and it's kind of just like this beautiful chaos. Where you're shouting at each other and you're sort of saying like, hey, come on, give me power. I want to do stuff. Say you need more mobility. Then you need the engineer who's using the Wii U gamepad to use the touchscreen, route more power to the legs. That was one concept that unfortunately I wasn't experienced enough as a developer to get that game onto the Wii U. I started developing it. I've got a fair bit of it programmed, but I couldn't complete it in time. And if Nintendo gets dual screen, sort of a gaming format for the upcoming Nintendo, then I absolutely will be bringing that game exclusively to Nintendo. So yeah, and then I just think it would be so much fun. You can then, when you're done, you sort of go home and you think, man, we did all right in some battles, but we sort of didn't do so great in some areas. So then you customize your mech, and you start thinking of different ways. Like, well, maybe it could be like have better team synergy if I just adjusted my mech like this, right? I did a couple things differently, and so that's the appeal of that game. Is you just sort of you're really working together with your friends, and you go home and you get to work on your mech in your own way, you know, and customize it in your own way and keep developing it and trying to find the best way to team up with your buds, you know. And that's really what it's all about. Rami says, "Man, that's an excellent idea. It's really innovative." Yeah, I'm glad you like that. Navy Seal, that's such an awesome game idea. I hope you can realize it someday. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'm glad I could share that idea with you guys. And it's something that I would have loved to have that game on the Wii U back when I was in my mid-20s and I still had friends to hang out with. I'm in my mid-30s now, and all of my friends are all very busy with work. I'm very busy with work, so it's tough to be able to do that. But you know, if you could ever get that sort of, that might be too clompy here. That might be, let's go ahead and scale it down a little bit. So yeah, I really hope that I could bring that concept to you guys one day. So let's keep our fingers crossed. I really hope Nintendo does that with their new console, because I will absolutely. I now have the experience and the ability to be able to do a game like that, and it would not really be a developmental challenge for me. I mean, I'm not trying to flex here, but it would be. I have significant experience now to where making a game like that would be pretty easy for me. So I really want to do it, but now there's no platform for me to do it on. What are your guys' hopes for the upcoming Nintendo console? If you guys are Nintendo fans like me, what are you hoping for in terms of what'll happen with the hardware? What's your wish list to Ramesses and Navy's Field? What's your wish list for the next Nintendo? Gotta make these more. Gotta make them more shovelly, these things. I'm gonna mix up the music now. I'll go ahead and let's do some White and Sided Umbra music. How about that? All right, I'm feeling pretty good about this guy. So we've got to start working on. He's ending up a little more complex than I kind of originally wanted, but that's okay. We're having fun hanging out and chatting, aren't we? What I do with these as well is I paint sort of the inside of the throat. I paint it black. That was one of my favorite songs. I paint it black so I don't have to sculpt it too far in, but that way no light reflects. I just the specularity so it can't reflect light. But I think it'd be cool to have some dangly bits coming out as well. But this is. I'll probably use the pinch tool pretty soon here. I just need this real shovelly, you know what I mean? Okay, so let's try the pinch tool. Oh, you know what? No. What actually I think I want to use the inflate tool, because that sort of shrinks things, right? So I want to use the inflate tool, but invert it by holding the... Actually, I can click the invert tool here, but you can also hold Alt to invert it. Tool here. This is a very purpose-built cryptid here. He digs the holes. This guy. Yeah, I've got so many ideas for dual screen gaming format. So my fingers are so crossed that Nintendo does that, but also that. I want Nintendo's, I'm calling it the Snap. I want Nintendo's new console, obviously, you know, to come apart and have a dedicated headset. So you take the top of there, and then, you know, you can use your motion controls, and those will be your joysticks. So you can play. You can have a game that's set up to where you play it, you know, in handheld mode. You travel around, you go and collect resources, and then when you get home, you put the headset on and you can play, you know, in VR. So that's what I'm hoping for, because I've got some great ideas. Okay, my shape's pretty much all done. I'm just gonna do a double check. Oh no, shape is good. I'm gonna start working on my form now. I'm taking a little too long, but I'm having fun chatting with you guys. So it's okay that I'm sort of working a little slow and lagging here, as long as we're having fun anyway. That's kind of shovelly. Oop, what have I done? Oh, you mentioned, yeah, I did join the Discord. Let me just read your comment again. Try to go to the VCS Discord. He's a little more active there. Atari is basically one guy Dave, so I guess it will take time. Well, you know, I have messaged him. I am on the Discord, but I do understand that he's hugely busy. So you know, but that's why I really want to contribute something, because I see what Atari is doing. I really believe in what they're doing, and that's why I'm pushing so hard to contribute, because I really want to contribute to the VCS. I think what Atari's doing right now is really great. I think it's so cool, and we need more of that. And I don't want to see Atari fail. I want to see it flourish. I want to see more people talking about it. I want to put games on the VCS where people look at it and say, "Whoa, that's really cool," and it's not on any other platform, you know, because I'm offering to make exclusive new concepts and games just for the Atari VCS. And again, I don't care that I'm only selling on one platform, and I wouldn't port it to other platforms. That's not why I make games. I don't make games to, you know, how can I do the least amount of work and then make tons of money? I don't care about that. I just want to make really cool stuff in the most interesting way possible. I'm going to start giving some form to this guy now. So we've got our shape. So here's what I like to do first is tendons. So this is going to start taking form real good here. Is now I'm going to define how the limbs attach to the body here. Draw. So I'll start with this guy here, and instead of looking like amorphous noodles, I'm going to make it appear as if there are bones and tendons inside of this cryptid. So I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out so far. A Navy Spiel. I also hope it has dual screen, and if it's still portable like the Switch, I'd love if they brought Street Pass back. Yes, 100%. I'm with you on that, Navy Spiel. Oh man, Street Pass is so cool. It was so cool hopping on the train, going to TAFE, which is Australian. It's like a college. Going to work in the city, hopping up the train, getting to work, and then you get to work a little early so you can check your 3DS and see like, all right, see what I got here. Then you're always looking forward to getting home after the train ride, because you get to see like, oh, rock on, I got some Street Passes. Such a cool feature. That was yeah, you're right. Like, it brought people together, and that's what I think we could really benefit from right now. It's just a format for gaming where it just kind of brings people together, you know. Premises. Honestly, I don't have a Switch. I was going to buy a PS5, but I will buy this because it's a successor to the Switch too. Not so much for the hardware, but for the games. Yeah, I'm hoping it's backwards compatible. That would be so great. Yeah, if it isn't backwards compatible, I'm gonna be a little sad. I think it would be so cool if it was backwards compatible, but I kind of have this feeling maybe it won't. You know, and again, I don't have any insider knowledge. I'm just a developer. I don't know anything about what's going on with that. With the upcoming Switch. Nintendo has been one of the few companies that manages to update itself without erasing the old. Yeah, you know, and people were upset that the eShop for 3DS and Wii U had to end, but it's more complicated than that, you know, because it's there are logistical challenges, there's licensing challenges and requirements, and if you hang on to the past, you won't ever be able to move forward. People keep complaining, oh, Nintendo's infrastructure for online is bad, oh, their servers are bad. Well, do you want them to improve it? Because if you want Nintendo to move forward and improve their online services, they're gonna have to let go of the past in some way. And that means that they can't maintain the 3DS and Wii U servers. And Nintendo did it in a way that was so respectful to everyone. They gave them 1 year. Nintendo said, look, you have 1 year. Get the games that you want. We're telling you what's going to happen. Nintendo didn't spring anything on anyone, unlike what Sony did. And what Sony did disgusts me. Because Sony was receiving a lot of negativity online. They were copping a lot of flack for problems with their servers, their hardware, their security issues. They had leaks. Everyone was so mad. You know, Sony was down. Sony faked shutting down the servers for PSP and Vita. They faked it because they knew that there would be an outrage. People would attack them online, and then they knew that that would serve as a distraction from the real issues that Sony was already, you know, getting massive criticism for, the data breach and all that. So they made this fake situation where we'll shut down PSP and Vita. People were so angry online. Obviously, they were vocal. And then Sony turned around and said, "Oh, we're listening to you. We want to do what you want. We won't shut down those shops. We'll keep them open just for you." So not only did they get an injection of sales, but they forced people to actively forget the thing that they were angry with Sony about that had caused their stock to drop. So that is Sony's approach, which is absolutely disgusting. And people still believe to this day that that was a genuine act of goodwill from Sony. It was not. Sony was manipulating all of you. And it's disgusting that Sony treats people like that. And I cannot get behind that at all. So I have no respect for Sony in that regard. Because of the way they use and manipulate people. And what Nintendo did was the exact opposite. It got to the end, to March 31st, and when Nintendo saw that people were so passionate and people were complaining and saying, the eShop is so busy, I can't even get online to get the games that I want. It's so busy that I couldn't even redeem my download codes. Nintendo extended that deadline for 3 days. So for 3 more days, you could still redeem your download codes. And because of that, for those final 3 days, I actively went out and I gave out around $26,000 worth of download codes. I was finding people, just reaching out to people saying, look, I see that you are struggling. You haven't been able to get all the games that you want. You weren't able to get these. I said, would you like a download code for my Silver Falls games? So by the end of it, I gave out like 26,000, and that's money that I could have just said, hey, you guys, why don't you buy my game? It's going to disappear. In 3 days, you won't be able to get it anymore. I could have easily done that, but never at any point did I say that, because that's not what Nintendo would have done. I could have gone to people and say, do you guys want my game? Because I'm not going to port it, and if you miss out on this, you'll never be able to get these 6 Silver Falls games. Instead, I went to people and I said, I know you're struggling to get all these games. I've got some download codes. Would you like one? I could have had $26,000 in my bank, but instead, that's not what's important. You know, treating people like crap is what Sony does. That's Sony's approach. I just did what I thought Nintendo would have done, and just taken care of their customers and treat people with respect and try to give people something good, you know? So, I guess I've gone on a little bit of a rant because what Sony does really, really frustrates me. I'm really not happy with the way Sony conducts their business, so I didn't mean to go on a rant just then. Oh, Ramesses, it's almost the philosophy of life in Japan, always innovating but never forgetting the old, something that Sony and Microsoft don't have. Nintendo kept its soul alive. I agree with that sentiment. I think you've said it better than I could have. You've got it. I think you've hit the head on the nail on the head. Okay, so let's get some tendons in here. I'm going to shrink, I'm going to reduce that size, and now we're going to get some form in here. I want it to look like tendons are attaching to this. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, Sony games are bad and this and that. I'm not trying to start a fight with anyone who loves, you know, Sony as a brand and their products. I'm just saying there's a good reason why I don't really feel any reason to bring my games to them, you know. And if I were to do that, if I were to do cross-platform, my games would suffer because it's already an immense effort. Like I understand as a one-man studio, a one-person development team. I run the whole company myself and everything like that. I understand that unless I'm 100, if I'm not 100% doing my absolute best, then my games are just gonna suffer and they'll be worse. It's difficult to optimize and get my games as good as they can be to have the scope of that people expect out of modern games. And if I'm busy trying to port my games and make them compatible, then my games will just be worse overall, because that means I'm spending less time making my games tailored to work the best that they can on their platform. So I want my games to be the very best that they can be for Nintendo. Ramesses, I see Atari trying to go down the same path with much fewer resources, so I'm also very supportive of this new journey by Atari. Yeah, we're on the same page, you know. I have a lot of respect for what Atari's doing, and if I can support it in any way, I really want to be able to do that. So if it means that I have to be very annoying and I have to keep pestering them to get me set up as a developer, then I'll do that, because if that's how the industry works, you know. If you want something, you better be willing to fight for it, and you're just gonna have to maybe just ruffle some feathers to get what you want. All right, and this doesn't need to be hugely detailed here because these are sort of amorphous. But I just want to make it seem like they're sort of like tubes, vascular tubes. That's my angle here. Are sort of vascular tubes with these arms, and it's sort of like fluid pumping through it. That's controlling them. That's what I want. So I've sort of defined my elbow there. So when I put bones in this guy, I know what I'm going to do with the bones. Yeah, it's my first time hearing from you, Ramesses, but it's great to have a chat with you. I hope you'll stick around and you'll hang out in future streams and check out future videos. I always enjoy chatting with people because we'll have like different experiences with gamings. We all have different, you know, things that we like and dislike. But it's just cool to hear from other people from around the world and see what they enjoy. And then sometimes you kind of just find out that someone likes an obscure game that you like. And I kind of think that's the most exciting thing is when, you know, you start talking about, you know, Vandal Hearts, you know, or whatever obscure game you like. And then someone else says, dude, oh, I love Vandal Hearts. Oh, I played so much of that, you know. That's the coolest. Oh, Ramesses. I will try with the community to talk to Dave to see if he can accelerate the process. The VCS community is very united. Maybe we are capable of accelerating the process. I would appreciate that, you know, because, you know, and I understand that they don't have a lot of resources and he's very busy, but I really want to help. And if I can help, you know, maybe that would make things better and they would have more attention and more, you know, presence in the industry. Because what I would like to see is for people that are sort of like saying negative things about Atari, I would love for them to see a bunch of just like exclusive games show up on the VCS that aren't on other consoles. And I want to produce games that are interesting, that have unique concepts, that look incredible, that are just a ton of fun to play. And I want to see those people that are saying negative things about, you know, the VCS and Atari to sort of see a bunch of those kind of games show up, and for them to say, oh, okay, well maybe it is kind of worth it owning a VCS. I mean, they're getting these cool things, and the community, you know, is getting behind something that they enjoy. And I want to hear from the community. I want to hear what games people the kind of games that people want. I want to make the kind of games that people want. But on that note, I'm not like pandering to, you know, like as if I don't know what kind of games to make, and I'm just trying to farm ideas from people. It's not that. I know that there are very specific kind of games that the community in general would like to see, because there aren't a lot of that kind of experience on the VCS right now, and I'm very new, so I don't really fully understand what we are missing in terms of an experience on the VCS. So that's why I'm asking people, you know, what genre do you want? But at the end of the day, I'm always going to be an RPG guy. I love RPGs so much that if I could just make RPGs, I would, but they're very time consuming to make. So, and of course, I always come up with different game ideas that aren't RPGs, and I want to explore creating those kind of ideas as well. So, I would love to just make tons and tons of RPGs, but you know, life doesn't let you make just RPGs all day long, you know. I'm kind of happy with the form of that. What do you guys think of that? It's got form, but it's not, you know, it's not overly buff. The Undertakers aren't really buff, you know. And I know that maybe I get a lot of new people that sort of come by the channel that haven't seen Silver Falls before. And if you want to check out, you know, like, so for example, like Silver Falls Undertakers, real talk here, we'll just do a real talk for a second. I know the only way to get these now, because the eShop has shut down, the only way to get them is through unofficial means online. Hey, I'm cool with that, man. I'm not gonna be sad. I would like you guys to try these, because there's a very good chance that you haven't heard of my Silver Falls games before, and maybe you're interested in trying them for the 3DS. If you have to get them through unofficial means because there's no way to get these games now, go for it, you know, and enjoy the games. I am working on bringing this to the Switch, so if you want to try Undertakers and you can only get it unofficially to try it on the 3DS, go for it, you know. But I'm adding way more stuff. Like, the stuff that I'm doing now obviously wasn't in the 3DS version, because I have this new modern art style. But if you want to, you know, see any of the games that came out, you know, just between you and me, you know, it's cool, man. It's cool, baby. I'm not a square. I'm hip to the jive. Not that I'm promoting piracy. You know, I couldn't do that, because piracy is that kind of destroys the industry if all we did was pirate games. But you know, right now there's no other way to obtain and play the games that came out on 3DS. So piracy is bad, okay? But on that note, I'm cool, baby. Navy Spiel. Oh, and speaking of the eShop, another little hope I have is that Switch 2 eShop has music. I love the 3DS and Wii U eShop music. Oh, I'm with you on that 100%. I'm slightly disappointed that the Switch didn't have the kind of personality that the Wii U and 3DS had, and still have. They still have personality. I'm with you on that. That's good to put on the wish list. I can get behind that. All right, let's get some tendons on my front appendage here. Oh, Elenon, hey, you're back. Hey, good to see you. So what happened earlier in the stream sort of shut down. Thanks for coming back. I think Windows started like updating itself. I'm using I have two different machines here. One's my broadcast machine. I think Windows 10 started updating itself and it just stole all of the resources from OBS, and then it crashed my computer. So I had to restart, but it's back. Thanks for coming back. We're making decent progress. Man, I really like. I'm starting to really like this design here. I'm never really sure, you know, when I started design. I generally do concept on canvas, which means I generally don't do concept art, because I've sort of been conceptualizing in my head internally a particular design for a while. Usually a couple days. That's too much. I don't want that. So I can do a concept on canvas, and it saves me time without doing full concept artwork. And it's because I do the conceptualizing and I do the modeling, rigging, and animating myself. So I don't need to send it through to another artist, which is why I don't really need to do the concept art, you know. So right now we're just sort of getting some tendons underneath there. Oops, it's a little too defined there. Navy SEAL agreed. Finding someone who likes the same obscure games you do is one of the best feelings. Yeah, and it's kind of like, oh, you've got like a new brother now, you know, or sister, you know. One of my friends that I grew up with, we met in high school, but I still consider in high school you're still a kid, you know. That's what I believe in. One of my friends, I didn't know that she was into Donkey Kong. And so I live in Australia, and I grew up in California, in the United States. And so one time she came out to visit. She stayed about a month, you know, and it was so cool. We just got to hang out again like old times, because we you know, we were always hanging out in high school. All of our friends, we had a close friend group. We were always hanging out. So I was sort of saying, like, well, we're sitting around, you know, the house. What do you want to do? And she said, hey, let's play Donkey Kong. It's like, I did not know that you liked Donkey Kong. And so, yeah, we beat... my friend and I, we beat Donkey Kong, all the Donkey Kongs on the Super Nintendo. We beat them all while she was staying over at my house, and we just had so much fun. It was so cool, and it was neat. It was neat finding out that, you know. That's my friend Alex, who's one of my coolest friends. Sorry to spin you right round, baby, right round there. It's a little confusing, wasn't it? Okay, this is kind of looking Undertaker-y. So the Undertaker-y is like, you know, there are cryptids for people that are sort of new to Silver Falls. There are particular families of cryptids, which means I can share design philosophy, you know, between certain creatures. The Undertakers sort of have this like knobby, clumpy look to their limbs. I think this helps them just look kind of distinct and unsettling, but also they're pitch black in general. But in the future, you know, that may change. There may be a way to sort of see these guys in the flesh in the future. So let's get some knobby bumpiness in here. Hope the music isn't too loud. This is Guardians and Metal Exterminators. Oh, you like the shape of the arms? Thanks. They're looking... Let's kill the wireframe for a bit. Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, there's our friend. That's our friend. Check that out. What a good friend. Oh, yeah, that's an Undertaker. Oh, Ramesses, good question. Oops, hold on, let's undo that. So why, Ramesses asks, what? Oops, come on, doing the wrong mouse here. Ramesses asks, but why is the channel named Sungrand and the site Silver Falls? So Silver Falls is just one of my game series, one of my IPs. Sungrand is my development studio. Whereas right now, Silver Falls is what I've been focusing on, because I've had a lot of ideas for Silver Falls. I want this to be my sort of headline IP. That sort of when people hear Sungrand, they instantly think, oh yeah, they think of Silver Falls. But I have other IP that I'm developing. We'll just talk face to face for a minute here. So Sungrand is my main IP, but I have I probably have around 25 IP that I've just been roughly developing over the years, and not all of them are really ready to be fully developed into franchises, like game series. I hate saying franchise because it makes it sound like you're a scummy business person, you know? But I have about 4 or 5 now that I've been developing behind the scenes, and I keep kind of quiet because there's no reason to really talk about something until it's really ready, you know? Unless you have a really good, unless you need to get your, you know, your stock up or something. I have a couple, yeah, I've got 4 or 5 that are really ready now. They have games, concepts that are finished, and they're ready for full-time development. And so I'll be sharing those more. So I'll be creating new social media channels just for those new IP. But Sungran is really where I can just sort of communicate with everyone just as a developer and a studio. So, Ramesses, I'll follow the streams when I really enjoyed the conversation and your developer history. Oh, thanks. I really appreciate that. I'll try to help as much as I can too. Thanks. You know, and you know what I really like, what I've seen in the VCS is that the community for VCS really believes in their console and they want to support it and they want to see it thrive. You know, and I really respect that. You know, and I can really agree with that and get behind that. I'll turn the music up. I think people tend to tell me they really like the soundtrack for Guardians of Metal Exterminators. I'll just turn it up a bit. Okay, this is looking good. Let's get some, so we need to just get some form here on the head, the torso, and the legs, and we're pretty much done. Then we just optimize. So, Ramesses, going back to the topic of Brazil, there are 2 characters, actually there's a few, there's 3 characters in Silver Falls in my game series that are from Brazil, that moved from Brazil, and they live in Silver Falls, and their names are, I'll tell you their names. In general, I try to pick a theming for my character names, especially if they're in a family. So these, there's a female character in Silver Falls from Brazil, and her name is Aria Forte, and her brother's name is Adagio Forte, and their uncle who lives in Silver Falls, his name is Solo Forte. So I thought it'd be cool. That sort of is a nod to how important music is to Brazilian culture, and I thought, oh, that would just be fun. It'd be fun to have them have a musical theme to their name. So that whole family just has like musical names. All right, let's get some meat on these thighs. Let's get them nice and muscular here. So I want to separate. This is his poop chute where he sort of spits out the dirt. So he eats the dirt from there, and he sort of pumps it out through his body, and then yeah. So I want it to look like it's sort of separated from his other muscles. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. And that gives a sense that his body now has some shape to it, doesn't it? Yeah. We'll do something about his belly as well here. There isn't a whole lot, but you're not going to see a lot of that anyway. So it's not really a big deal. Okay, let's get some tendons in here. Yeah, there we go. So that makes it look like it's still organically connected. There we go. Yeah! Yeah, there we go. We got it. We got it. Yeah, I'm feeling that. Okay, so we want some. We'll get some meat in here because it kind of looks like, in terms of musculature, we should have some meat here, and then we'll go ahead. Oops, what happened there? If you're not a web developer, I can help you with that because I am. Oh, thanks, I appreciate that. I do, you know, I generally I maintain my own website, and it's not that it's difficult to do that. It's just that it's time consuming, and I haven't been in a position yet where I can take time away from development to update my website. My website is so out of date, and it's like if I just had a few days to work on it, I could update it all. But I'll get there. You know, I'll get there. It's important to have, you know, a good website these days, but because I'm a one-man development studio, I just have to focus on getting these titles out now, you know, especially since originally we were supposed to be able to launch, when I made the final 3DS and Wii U games, we were supposed to be able to launch in Europe as well, and then some funny things happened that year with Europe, and it wasn't Nintendo's fault, you know. There were people that were sort of destabilizing Europe, and there were a lot of structural changes that occurred, and unfortunately our ability to launch those games in Europe was cancelled, unfortunately, and it put me in a very difficult position, because it meant I made you know, I made a fraction of what I should have made in terms of revenue, and I'd allocated so much of my resources, you know, into developing these final games, and they were supposed to support my studio for the next year so I could get the next Switch games ready, and unfortunately I only made a fraction of what I needed to make in order to keep my studio in a financially safe position. So unfortunately I just have to focus really hard on my just core game development right now. I don't have a lot of time for web development. I want to do a fun series of just fun video topics on my on the YouTube channel, but unfortunately I'm not in a position where I can spend time doing that at the moment. But you know, things will change as I get a few more of these games out, you know. I'm going to define a sense of it. Some pendants in there. Why don't we? No, see, it's quite flat there. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Let's get some meat up in there. What we'll do as well. So what I'll do, I'll grab my Switch. If you guys just give me a couple minutes now, I'll grab my Switch and I will show you this game in development. It's neat watching this process, seeing the creature evolve from a red orb to this realized form. Yeah, thanks for hanging out and watching. It's been fun to chat. And it's in a way, it's kind of like, well, you guys are actively contributing, because whatever you're saying, you know, and hanging out in the chat, you're actually sort of influencing my thought process a bit as we chat, and subconsciously that does affect how the sculpt turns out. So it's kind of like, you know, you guys are contributing, you know, in a peripheral way. You are contributing to this actual creature design just by hanging out and chatting. And I think that's a fun way, because to me, gaming should be about connecting with other people, you know, and because games are not like, they're not products, right? They're not so, well, some games are, aren't they? But to me, a game is just a way to communicate with someone and share something. And we're doing it, aren't we? You know. So if you want, I'll deploy this. If you guys want to see, I'll deploy him into the game engine. But I'll show you. I'll grab my Switch. We're almost done. Let me just get some tendons in his big meat foot hammers here, and then I'll show you the game running, and then I can explain it to you. There we go. We're looking good. He's got like little meat hammers. Little. Gross. I kind of think of them as like meat hammers down here. Okay, yeah, that's pretty Undertaker-y. I'm not sure though if that's a little. I might have to scale that in just a little bit. I think it might be too chunky. That. Hello? Okay, Oh, sorry for flinging you all around. I hope I'm not giving you motion sickness here. I'm just kind of thinking that might be too chunky back there. Let me go ahead and just adjust the shape of it. It's just a little too chunky. There we go. Seems to make some sense. Okay, this is our friend, everyone. I mean, you could work more. You can give him some tendons in here, but there isn't really much of a point, you know? I'm going to do it anyway, because I'm thinking about it. See? And that just gives it a little bit more muscular definition. Looks like there's tendons inside of them. So you see, we started out with sort of just, you know, a general shape, and then we added the form to that. And I'm really happy with how this has turned out. Okay. Great. You know, let's put some flesh on him. Let's just paint some flesh on him just for fun. Yeah, that's an Undertaker, man. It does look a little bit like a metal exterminator because of the mouth bit, but that's okay, you know. That is a friend. Wow. Okay. Let's go ahead and paint a little bit, and what we'll do now, I'll just say that as S2. So, what we'll do is so I'm at 827,000 polygons or triangles, so that's quite a bit. I'm just going to hit the reduce selected button a couple times. I'll come back later on and I'll manually optimize it by removing detail from areas that don't need it. But I just want to get it reduced enough to where that's fine, you know. That's 152,000. Let's go ahead and paint it. And while that's processing, I'll be right back. I'm just going to grab my Switch and I will share the current development build with you. Be right back. Oop, my lapel mic. Alright everyone, so this is the build here. Let me go ahead, we'll just slap a little paint. We'll slap a little paint on this guy just real quick. And then I'll show you that build here. I have my preset here. This is just for fun. I'll just give him this general, this is my catalog. You know, just so we can sort of get a feel of what this guy will look like. Wow, I'm so pleased with how this turned out. Let's go ahead and turn off symmetry. Alright. Yeah, what do you guys think of this? No, I'm not, this isn't going to be the final draft. This is just a test. I need to go back and do significant work optimizing, of course. Just want to make sure it's... Gotta paint the inside too. I would paint black on the inside as well and make it so it can't reflect light, so it gives the sense that it is extending infinitely. Yeah, it's just a pretty rough paint job anyway. Yeah, so if you sort of... Okay, let me go ahead and grab the quick sketch. Like I took like a minute to create this sketch. You can kind of see, yeah, that's basically it, right? Basically, that turned out. You know? Maybe I'll lower the camera just so we can. Oops. I'll lower the camera a little bit so you can get a little closer view of it. How about that? Here, how about that? So you have your sort of your original concept sketch. Then you have your completed creature design there. So that's pretty exciting. What do you guys think of that? Seems like he's raw. Oh yeah, he's got. He's a little bit raw. Okay, so let me share a little bit of Undertakers with you, the current development build that I've got. And then we'll wrap up the stream. So I think what I have to do is actually I have to turn off the light. Well, I think my overhead light is going to reflect. Let me go ahead and turn that off too. Okay, so this is coming soon to the Nintendo Switch. It's very far in development. It's almost done. Let me go ahead and I think I need to adjust the focus a bit. So, manually adjust the focus. I'm going to put it right about there. Maybe I need to make it just a little better. Okay, so this is up to 4 players. There's a couple of graphical glitches here and there, some minor things. So this is your sort of hub area. You can access upgrades, so you can upgrade your signature weapons and your stats. You have skill comics, which grant your character sort of special abilities. You have equipment, so you can earn new weapons at different levels. Sometimes it gets skills attached, and you can change your dude. So when you get change your dude, there's going to be a pretty big roster in this game, so you'll be able to play as different characters. They all have different strengths and weaknesses. With Raw, I was trying to say it looks like his flesh is exposed. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's no skin, just the flesh. Right. So we'll go over here to the car, and well, I'm gonna try to adjust the focus just a little more. So you can explore. You can go to different environments to pick up resources. You can find materials for building, and you can get pages. You can get skill comic pages, so you can level up your skill comics. You go to locations. You can get new weapons to use for battles. I'll just pick a battle and I'll just briefly show you what it looks like. Right now I'm still in the middle of balancing and making adjustments, so I'm probably going to get killed by the enemies here. You can see I only have 22 build materials, so I don't have a lot here. I'll just start building. There's a couple animations that have not been implemented yet. Oops.
Sorry, I didn't. Apologies, I didn't put my lapel mic on. Sorry about that. Okay. And pretty soon enemies are going to start attacking here, so I'm going to try to build upward actually and try and get some leverage above the ground. So you see in the top left corner it says sunrise in 5:26. Uh-oh, someone's coming. Please build faster. So different characters have different build speeds and different build strengths. So some characters will build parts that have more durability. So you can see I'm sort of, and you can level up each character's build stats. So their build speed and their build strength, you can level that up. So I've got a platform up there I can run to for safety. Oh. Bull is a very balanced character. He's you know, the main character, so he's obviously going to be the most balanced. But you'll get experience points. You can earn weapons and skill comics by surviving. But you know, the longer that you spend here, the more. Oh no, they broke my stairs. So the enemies can break your parts. Then you'll have to build more. But I'm all out of build materials. You see, so I only have 2 lumber left. So that means that I have to go back to explore mode and collect more lumber because now I can't build anymore. But as long as I survive, you know, 4 more minutes, but more and more enemies will show up. As long as I survive that, then I'll succeed, and then I'll get rewards for the mission and whatnot. So yeah, I'm not sure where the enemies are. Again, this is a test build, so I think I've adjusted something, and something's not right because there's supposed to be a heap more. There's supposed to be way more enemies right now. And I'm working on a couple new pieces of music for this game. So for Undertakers on the Wii U, I wrote a new soundtrack for it, and I'll be expanding that and writing even more. Ow. Okay. So yeah, this guy's the projectile guy. For some reason, his animations aren't showing up. He's just doing the one animation, so I need to figure out what's the deal with that. Dang it. There's some sound effects missing, so yeah, I'll just have to figure out what the deal is with that. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed having a look at that. And you know, obviously it'll be a matter of doing a lot of testing, and I got killed. So I did not make it. I didn't make it. I'll return to my hub area now. Okay, so I hope that was interesting for you guys. Okay, so let me go ahead and just put my studio lights back on, and we'll sign off. Okay, and here we are. Okay, everyone. It's been a lot of fun hanging out and chatting with everyone. It was good to hear from you all. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you had fun having a look at development and seeing, you know, sculpting is such a great way to model organic 3D models for games. I'm trying my hardest to not take for granted how spoiled I am with this software because it's so good. For years and years, I was doing polygonal modeling with much more basic programs, and that was difficult, time-consuming, and frustrating. So we're very spoiled right now, and this is old. You know, this is an older program, Sculptors. But you can see how quickly and easily you can create models. Ramesses is amazing. I need a Switch right now. It was great to meet you, Ramesses, and I hope I'll hear from you again. And I'll be doing more live streams and more videos and whatnot. And I'm very excited to be joining the VCS community again. I've only had mine for like 3 weeks, and I just think it's so fantastic. Well, I think I've had it about 4 or 5 weeks now that I think about it. You know, I haven't been paying attention to the time. I've just been working. So we'll wrap things up. It's been so fun hanging out and chatting. So thanks to everyone. Thank you for hanging out and making the stream fun. And I hope you're looking forward to Undertakers. So this is the last enemy that I need to create for the game. I've got a couple new tracks of music that I need to write, doing final testing, implementing the skills and new weapons, and finishing up a couple small things. But I'll be finished totally with development for Undertakers very soon, and then that will be launching on the Switch. Okay. Thanks everyone. Take care, Ramesses. Thanks for that. Okay. It's been great. I'll see you guys around. Take care.